I've been a wrestling fan for most of my life and a music fan for even longer. And wrestling and music go hand in hand, which is why it's such a disappointing element of today's product. Most of the themes are indistinguishable from the one that comes before it. But 20 years ago, there were some unbelievable themes from the likes of Motorhead and Alter Bridge and Canada's own Finger Eleven and today's subject, Our Lady Peace. Our Lady Peace has started their 30th anniversary tour, and at a show in Calgary on February 20th, the band decided that the time had come for them to finally take back ownership of their song, Whatever. If you aren't in the know, you might be thinking, what are you talking about? How does a band lose ownership of their song? And what the hell does this have to do with professional wrestling? Well, in 2002, Our Lady Peace recorded Whatever for a compilation CD for the WWE titled Forcible Entry. And Whatever became the theme song for A Murderer. I'm sure most of you are already in the know about the Benoit tragedy, so I won't get into all the nitty-gritty details, but kind of hit you with a truncated version of what happened. In the summer of 2007, Chris Benoit, a professional wrestler for the WWE, was a no-show for a pay-per-view event. Chris, along with his wife Nancy and his 7-year-old son Daniel, were found dead in their Georgia home. Chris was widely regarded as one of the greatest professional wrestlers of his time and maybe of all time, which is why his life and his career were celebrated on the next night's Monday Night Raw. Unfortunately, after that episode of Raw, it was revealed that Chris was believed to have had strangled his wife Nancy and smothered his 7-year-old son Daniel before taking his own life by hanging himself with a lap pull-down machine in his home gym.
Good evening. Tonight, this arena here in Corpus Christi, Texas, was to have been filled to capacity with enthusiastic WWE fans. However, in reality, WWE superstar Chris Benoit, his wife Nancy, and their son Daniel are dead. So tonight will be a 3-hour tribute to one of the greatest WWE superstars of all time. Tonight will be a tribute to Chris Benoit. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Last night on Monday Night Raw, the WWE presented a special tribute show, recognizing the career of Chris Benoit. However, now some 26 hours later, the facts of this horrific tragedy are now apparent. Therefore, other than my comments, there will be no mention of Mr. Benoit's name tonight.
This was far from the first controversy in the WWE's history, but its brutality was just too much to ignore, and the Benoit tragedy became a large black spot on the company, reigniting steroid controversies, as well as deeper and more serious research into CTE. CTE is a progressive degenerative disease affecting people who have had multiple concussions and traumatic brain injury. In fact, the coroner report stated that Chris Benoit had the brain of an 85-year-old man. And Chris was 40 years old at the time of his passing. The Benoit tragedy alone is why you won't see chair shots to the head anymore if you tune into WWE's programming. And generally, they take their superstars' health much more seriously than they did pre-Chris Benoit. I think the issue here is obvious. Should Our Lady Peace ever play the song Whatever again? It sort of made me think about the 165 songs that were suggested not to play in the aftermath of 9/11. Those 165 songs also included every Rage Against the Machine song, by the way. This wasn't a demand across all radio stations, but rather a suggestion, given the lyrical content of some of these songs may come across as poor taste, given the tragedy that just happened. Now, I don't mean to be comparing tragedies here. I'm just sort of showing like a precedent of giving music and art a time to breathe in the event of a tragedy. Obviously, none of those artists that were suggested not to be played didn't have anything to do with the 9/11 tragedies. They weren't songs written in like a mocking way. And Our Lady Peace just wrote a song for a hometown performer to walk to the ring to. In 2012, during a Huffington Post interview, Our Lady Peace were asked if they would ever play Whatever again. And they said due to the severity of the tragedy, they just couldn't see themselves ever performing that song again. But nearly 20 years since the Benoit tragedy, and Our Lady Peace has decided to take back ownership of their song. At a recent show in Calgary, vocalist Rain Maida had this to say about the return of the song.
Thank you. So this next song is it's kind of it's a song that we never played actually. We recorded it, ended up on this big kind of soundtrack, and then it has this troubled past tied to it, so we didn't play it. Yes. For a long time until tonight, actually. But we decided to. Things happen in your life, right? And they can own you, or you can own them. We decided to take back ownership of the song because it is our song. Woo! And it has to do with mental health, and that's how we're kind of taking control. This is about, again, not being scared to reach out, and we'll put a hotline up at the end of the song. But for anyone that is struggling, there is hope, there is help. Sometimes it's just 3 digits away. This is called Whatever.
I've been an Our Lady Peace fan for a long time. In fact, I used to joke that they were the band that got me into good music. There was a lot of butt rock before that. They're coming to my city in a few weeks. I'm very much looking forward to finally seeing them perform live, and I'm very much looking forward to them playing Whatever, because if we're being honest, it is one of the greatest wrestling theme songs of all time. This was a bit of a crossover video for me. I don't know that I will ever talk wrestling again, but I do love it, but I love music too, and that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here to talk to you guys about. If you're a wrestling fan, let me know in the comments, what is your favorite theme song of all time? We already know the best is Edge's, and if you're not a wrestling fan but you watch this video anyway, maybe you learned something, let me know in the comments. That's a song that you think would be a pretty rippin' walkout tune. I would love it if you would leave me a like and subscribe. Maybe check out another video like the last video I put out, my beef with the Grammys and modern rock music. I'll catch you next time. Shiny side up.
No addiction.